Hello, everyone. This is Luis Concepcion from Strategic Profit Line Trading, coming with you with the plan of the week for week number 49. And welcome to December. So, understand that all this information is for educational purposes only. I'm not giving any investment advice. This information is not tailored to any one individual. Past performance does not guarantee future results for success. And understand that all trading and investment involve risk, including the loss of principal. As always, here's the agenda. I'll be covering the news, the market overview. We got 144 companies reporting earnings this week, down from 153 from last week. I'll be covering the FANG stocks, aka the man stocks now, and the Magnificent Seven. Here's our results from last week. 24 zones provided. Stocks were 3 for 1, options 4 for 1. Zones not entered was 13, and then 4 zones closed into the market on Friday afternoon. So 4 trades out there pending if you took them. Here's a depiction of what earnings are looking like this week. Once again, I have a couple of trades. It was a little slim pickings this week. However, do my best to go over some charts in regards to earnings this week. Here's your results when it comes to stocks. I added week 48 results. And here are your results for your options. I added week 48 results as well. For our news on Monday, we have nothing affecting the US. For aftermarket, for those of you who trade Forex, understand Australian dollar will be affected in the evening. Moving on to Tuesday in the morning, 30 minutes after the market opened, we got the job opening report and PMI. On Wednesday, nothing affecting the US market until pre-market actually. We got non-farm payroll at 5:15 in the morning. And for those of you trading Forex, understand that the British pound will be affected by government barely speaking. Also, the Canadian dollar will be affected on Wednesday, 30 minutes after the market open. Moving on to Thursday, you got the unemployment claims report pre-market, so be mindful of that. Provide you some volatility for the market open on Thursday. And moving on to Friday, we have non-farm payroll and unemployment rate pre-market. So those job reports and the unemployment rate will be affecting the market this week, so be cognizant of that. And that's going to do it for us for news for this week. All right, moving into the charts this week and starting with our major indices. Looking at the SPX, the S&P 500, as you can see, this was the level that I had for supply for last week, from 45.68 to 46.05. We've penetrated deeply into the zone. We did pull back here once, and we attempted again twice. And then after Powell spoke on Friday with a dovish tone, market came and recovered again. So it'd be interesting to see what happens this week. If we're going to continue pushing for the Christmas rally and make it up to our 46.55 to 47.49, or we're going to start retracing, or there's a possibility we just may stay stagnant here for the next couple of weeks to end the year. With that being said, if this level doesn't hold and we reach the 46.05, we're headed to 46.55 to 47.49. On the demand side for you, I got 43.90 with 43.44, with us just continuing to march on since we came into this zone a couple of weeks ago, and market's been pretty bullish. That's gonna do it for the S&P 500. Moving on to the Nasdaq. So as you can see, these are the same levels I provided last week. We haven't reached either one of them. Nasdaq having a little bit more room to go. As I said, we attempted to get to this 16,255 earlier in the week. We failed to get there, and we turned around. And then this is Friday's candle with once Powell being dovish, we recouped some of our losses. But again, on the supply side, I still got 16,255 to 16,606. On the demand side, 15,349 to 15,064. Moving down to the Dow, which is our strongest market still. As you can see, the Dow's been strong all week, stronger than the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. The next level I got for you on the Dow, before we get to all-time highs again, will be 366.46 to 369.56 on the Dow Jones. At your supply, with your demand at 341.62 to 338.61. And lastly, the RUT, also known as your small caps or the IWM. You can see we finally got to this zone and it came into that zone strong. So it's going to be curious to see how the market opens this afternoon and to see if this level holds. So that level for you, we've closed deeply into this zone on Friday, 1838 still to 1867. And with our demand still being 1647 to 1527. That's going to do it for you for the indices this week and our major markets. Now moving into earnings. So the first company I got for you is GTLB, which is GitLab, and their report on Monday. So on the supply side, 5503 to 5880, and on the demand side, 3659 to 3262. Next company I got for you is AutoZone. AutoZone's been holding its levels pretty well. So as you can see, this level is what's holding AutoZone. 2705 to 2750 on the supply side, and on the demand side, 2378 to 2346. We've been coming back and forth from these levels pretty well. Once again, understand that AutoZone's options they do have wide spread, so be cognizant of that and just understand this is an expensive stock for those of you who can't afford it. Just understand there's two small share sizes, and these are our levels. Again, once again, on the demand side, 2378 to 2346. And 2705 to 2750 on the supply side. Smucker's Jelly also have earnings this week. On the supply side, I got 124.82 to 129.67 on the supply side, and on the demand side, 78.16 to 73.16. So Ferg has earnings this week as well. On the supply side, 177.60 to 183.67. On the demand side, I got 142.47 to 137.27. For GII, on the demand side, 47.62 to 46.08, and on the supply side, 57.52 to 58.40. MDB, on the supply side, 526.36 to 547.18, and on the demand side, 296.65 to 268.34. They also have earnings on Tuesday after market. This company I got for you is Dave & Buster's. On the supply side, 53.13 to 55.90, and on the demand side, 31.54 to 27.43. Understand that there is another level right underneath this, starting at 26.83 to 22.06. And that's David Buster for you. Son, it's a lower price stock for you trading small accounts. On the supply side, 24.91 to 26.25, and on the demand side, 15.34 to 14.26. Moving on to Wednesday, Campbell Soup. On the demand side, 33.27 to 32.01, and on the supply side, 50.18 to 52.12. Moving on to Thursday. Thursday's going to be our biggest day with earnings. This is Dollar General. So on the demand side, you can see this level already held, and I'm going to hold it. I'm going to keep it until it breaks. But for the demand, we got 109.55 to 98.78. And on the supply side, we got 152.10 to 158.11. This being the aggressive zone, depending on what the market does the first couple of days till Thursday. And on the conservative side, on the supply side, you got 270 to 206.75. That's gonna do it for Dollar General. So Broadcom has earnings this week as well on Thursday. And no supply on Broadcom, but on the demand side, this level is what's been holding Broadcom. So watch the 823.96 to 776.25. Still on Thursday. Everything else is gonna be on Thursday. Lululemon, most expensive Spanx in town. We're currently in the supply zone. Understand that 485, once we break 485, that's all-time highs again. So be mindful of where this chart is at. But for supply, we're deeply into it. And you can just call it 466 to 485 now that we're past the 455 mark. And that's going to be the last supply on Lululemon. And on the demand side, you got 414.90 to 403 on the demand side. And more conservative, you got 379 to 324 and 365.55. Those are going to be your two levels on the demand side, and this is the last level we have on Lululemon on the supply side. Last company I got for you with respect to earnings is DocuSign, also reporting on Thursday. And once again, lower trading stock. This is the level that's been holding it. We got 39.52 to 34.88 on the demand side, and 55.17 to 57.83 on the supply side. It's going to do it for us for earnings this week. Now, moving into our Mang stocks. Starting off with Meta. Meta, as you can see, our levels have not changed. However, we have started coming out of our level finally. And that's that 355.18 to 352.18. And the last 3 days in tech, you can see that the last 3 days of Meta, you can see that we fell out of it, out of our zone and area. So again, if you haven't been taking advantage of taking verticals on Meta for this entire period, you lost a great opportunity of making weekly income. Next, Apple. Apple's been going sideways for a good more than a week now. So again, this level it was breached, but I'm gonna still say it held, and this is the same level I have for you. Once we pass 198, we're at all-time highs again on Meta. I mean, I'm sorry, on Apple, but that's 195.53 to 198.57. This is the last feet of supply we have left before we hit all-time highs on Apple. And then on the demand side, I got 177.63 to 173.45 for you. Moving on to Netflix. Netflix held for us. As you can see, this is the level I gave last week, and we came up and we're turning around again. We're starting to make a turn here for Netflix. And that level was 469.82 to 485.36. So if you played that level this week, great job. However, if we break this level now again, we're gonna get to the 506.96 to 527.91 on the supply side, and for demand, we got the 439.77 to 428.75. Moving on to Google. No change on Google. Still attempted to get to this 141.66 to 145.15, and we couldn't again. And on the demand side, still got 122.83 to 118.17. That's gonna do it for us for our FANG stocks. Moving on to the Magnificent Seven. Putting in Microsoft, as you can see, Microsoft started making a turn as well. No supply on Microsoft. 384.30 is the all-time high. This is the first demand zone I got for you. That's pretty aggressive. 363.81 to 357.57 on the demand side. And for your on my more conservative trader, you got 339.33 to 331.93. Next, I'm going to cover is NVIDIA. As you can see, NVIDIA hit that 500 mark again, and all we've been doing is going down. For NVIDIA, the demand side still got 392.89 to 381.58. However, NVIDIA is going to be a tight range, and I'm going to do this for my aggressive trader. This is not a zone yet. However, this is in development. If we come back up to 476.97 to 489.93, there's a possibility we can come up, hit this, and go down. And the reason I'm saying that is I don't know if you've noticed, but if I've showed you the Microsoft chart, I showed you the Google chart, the Netflix chart, and Meta chart. They're all starting to slow down and turn down, meaning the sector rotation is currently in progress where people are taking profits and money out of tech and putting into other sectors. So just be aware of that and cognizant of that. But we have an aggressive here, 439.48 to 429. And this is a zone in development, but be cognizant of it, 476.97 to 489.93 on the supply side. Moving on to Tesla, which is another one of our trades that worked this week, and including with Netflix. As you can see, this zone, been reporting it for quite some time. It finally hit, and it came away from there. So this zone is no longer valid. It's been used. It's worked. So the next zone I'm going to put for us on Tesla, it's going to be the 289.16 to 299.89 on the supply side, and on the demand side, 193.47 to 177.36. And last but not least, let's cover Amazon. So for Amazon, our levels haven't changed. However, you can see we attempted to hit this zone this week. 149.64 to 158.86 on the supply side, and 118.59 to 113.70 on the demand side. And that's going to do it for the charts for this week. And once again, it's Luis Concepcion from Strategic Profit Line. Here's my contact information. Feel free to check out the website for upcoming courses. Email me if you have any questions or anything else you want me to cover. This is the last month of the year and we're dwindling down. Follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn for updated trades. Feel free to hit that subscribe button and like button. And until next time, until next week, happy trading, safe trading, have a plan, and see you next week.